Yeah, so just in case some of you guys don't know, because Twitter might have been down at the time, but Ron DeSantis has announced that he's running for president of the United States. Well, I guess he wants to run right now for the primaries, the RNC primaries, but he has one guy to beat. Who do you think that is?
Big boy Donald Trump.
So what do you?
The trumpet.
So many things too to discuss on that. What do you, first off, do you think Biden is gonna run again?
Hell no. And if he wins, like there's definitely a problem with America, man.
That and yeah, people just I guess are just like the pain.
Yeah.
But I think Gavin Newsom is gonna be put in the forefront. For those of you guys who don't know, Gavin Newsom is the governor of California. In some situations, what might end up happening is this:
Damn, dude. Even with the current state of Florida, California.
People voted for him
Bro.
again. Even when they had the like special elections or some stuff like that, they voted for him again. But
That's crazy, man.
yeah, so I suspect the DNC is gonna boot Biden. Okay, because it's just no, you can't just you look at him and you hear him talking like, okay, this guy, it's not even funny. It's like this guy is not really coherent.
Yeah, he's
Get
not there,
somebody
man.
right, get somebody young at least. I think I'm gonna put Gavin Newsom there. I think the RNC. I don't know what's gonna happen. If DeSantis beats Trump, it'll be Trump versus Newsom, the governor of California versus Florida. How do you want your country to run? Do you want your country to look like Florida, or do you want your country to look like California? That's gonna be the major
Yeah.
decision. Like if it turns out like that, who do you think is gonna win the RNC?
Damn, I think it's gonna be between that guy you just said from California, and I think Donald Trump's gonna beat DeSantis, man.
You think so?
I think what DeSantis did was very, it was dumb, man. Not strategic at all. He should have waited. Even though I know he doesn't get along with Donald Trump, but at one point supposedly Donald Trump did
They
vouch
got
for him,
along.
right?
Yeah, they got along a lot
Yeah.
during COVID and stuff like that. They got along quite well. But
He should have been like under his wing.
the thing about Donald Trump is that the media has painted him, whether you agree with it or not, in such a light that he looks terrible as a
Yeah.
person. He looks terrible as a president, and by extension, that makes the Republican Party look terrible as a party of America.
So you think they're trying to clean house and just
They-
have DeSantis
if-
come in? And,
Yeah, so DeSantis, he's a Republican. He doesn't have like the level of controversy that Donald Trump has, right? And I think go ahead. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Now that you mentioned that, do you think that if he does win the Republican, representation in election, do you think that they're gonna dig deep now on him?
Yeah, yeah. I have no doubt that if DeSantis somehow is able to beat Trump, they're gonna find Russian collusion. They're gonna find a whole bunch of collusion, Russian collusion, Chinese
Chinese.
collusion.
Yeah.
They're gonna find a whole bunch of stuff. And quite frankly, I'm a little suspicious myself as to how Ron DeSantis is worth like $50 million last I checked or something like that.
Oof, sounds like he's doing some lobbying.
Fact check me guys at home, but I think he's worth a couple of millions. During COVID, he got really rich.
Damn. That federal funding came in.
Allegedly.
Clutch.
But yeah, I think Ron DeSantis. If I was the RNC strategist, if I was like a political strategist, I'd be like, all right, you all got to get together, you all got to boot Trump out, you all got to stand behind DeSantis. You know what I mean? DeSantis is not some random politician who just showed up. DeSantis has been doing what seems to be a good job running Florida.
He has a pretty good track record.
He has he has a good track record in the sense that, judging from how many people are moving into Florida as opposed to
Yeah.
moving out of Florida compared to how people are moving out of California, it seems that the way that the state itself is ran, whether people want to hate on DeSantis or not, the actions have been showing that they've approved it, that they've approved of his actions. Even his most ardent criticizers and detractors, his most ardent criticizers and detractors are moving to Florida, or at the very least vacationing in Florida.
Yeah.
Really quickly before we hop off the political topic, I'm not sure if you know, he's a comedian, I forgot his name, Jimmy Dore.
Mm-hmm.
He used to be a liberal or a Democratic. He's one of those old school guys that if you see him like in the 90s, smokes weed and let people be
Like
who they
free, whatever.
yeah, let people be who they want to be with.
Yeah.
But now it seems like he's getting kind of disillusioned with the Democratic Party. You know why? So whether people disagree or agree with universal health care or not, whatever your takes are on that, the Democratic Party had control of the House and the Senate, I think, for 2 years, and they didn't do squat.
Wow.
They didn't put it up. From what I understand, they didn't put it on the floor. They didn't vote on it. Nothing. And now that election time is coming around, they're talking about universal health care again.
Oh wow.
What do you think that means?
They're trying to attract certain people to vote
Exactly.
for
They're
them.
trying. That's exactly it. And they're like, yeah, we need universal health care. We're gonna
Yeah.
introduce it and blah blah.
Yeah.
And then once they get in, they'll kick it to the curb again because people, the left and the right, the Democrats and the Republicans, they're all in bed with big businesses. That's it. It's just that simple. The only difference is that the media portrays one side better than the other,
Yeah.
or one side worse than the other. If you want to, go down that route, they're a bunch of, hypocrites.
Yeah, and then DeSantis. Before we get to the whole like hypocrite thing that you mentioned, DeSantis actually, after he passed that law of not letting foreign people invest,
What do you think about that? What's your thought on that?
I think that
Should America-
hell yeah, dude, I think it's a good law, and the reason I say that is because when it comes to other countries, I think Canada has the same thing in place where they don't let like foreigners invest. I might be wrong.
Now,
Audience, let us know if that's true or not.
Now, did he? I'm not sure about this law. Did he pass it to prevent people from buying property here, which will then prevent prices from continuing to skyrocket and pricing people out of the market, or was he trying to prevent some kind of foreign financial, quote unquote, financial invasion?
Yeah, so what he's targeting, he only targeted countries that have Communist Party, right? So it's against our whole economy and stuff. So it's not something personal. It's more like the way we do business, and I think it's good. But I think there's a few lawsuits against him because he passed that law, and I think it's predominantly has like Chinese USA citizens. I guess they're not happy about.
Well,
the
I
whole
mean,
thing.
if you're a citizen here in the United States and you want to buy a house, I'm sure that if you read the bill, it probably says you're allowed to buy a house.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
I think
mean?
it's probably because maybe they have family that's Chinese or something, or Russian or
Because
whatever.
what a lot of people do, people don't know this, is that people in foreign countries, especially in countries that have slight economic turbulence that people are more than comfortable with, the wealthy people, they don't change their currency to dollars and leave them there. They change their currency to dollars and then they buy property as kind of quote unquote storage vehicles for their wealth. So they're technically what they're doing is they're converting their wealth to like a house or a building or something like that.
Yeah, so
Where-
it's kind of like money laundering because a lot of people what they do is kind of like what you mentioned. A lot of foreigners what they do is they have a whole bunch of cash that they acquired illegally. So what they do is they'll buy an apartment in New York, leave it empty. That way they converted their illegal made cash into a real
Right.
asset. Let that shit appreciate in value. Go back to the country, continue making more money and money
Yeah.
laundering.
Yeah, and all they gotta do is like just tell the United States like, yeah, no, it's a business in my other country.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
I bought an asset. I'm investing in your country. I'm bringing this much money, and they're not gonna say no to that.
Doing one thing and then saying one thing and then doing the other, eh?
Yep.